Hi there, this is Maneesh Vijaya from PM Pulse and we bring to you yet another episode of PM Ninja video series. In this power-packed episode of PM Ninja series, we're going to talk about one of the most confusing topics, or the topics which is confused the most in the professional management world, and that is the difference between defects and bugs. Bugs if you're in IT and errors if you're in any other industry. And therefore, the purpose of this video is to clearly distinguish between defects and errors. Keep watching. It's really unfortunate that some of the most basic terminologies on project management is so highly misunderstood. Now, the effect of this misunderstanding is directly affecting productivity and ability to handle customers' expectations. Why am I talking about customer expectations when we are talking about defects and bugs? Well, it's actually got everything to do with customer expectations. It's surprising that most of the professionals and even quality professionals find it very difficult to distinguish between defects and bugs. Bugs is a term that we use in IT industry. However, you can use the term error if you are from any other industry. And therefore, basically the distinction between defects and errors or defects and bugs, depending on which kind of industry you are in. And it's very unfortunate that most of the professionals don't know this very well. And I can bet that most of the people who are watching this video do not know the distinction between the two. Now, how does this really affect your productivity? How does it affect your project? Quite drastically, to be very honest, because the problem stems from the fact that most of the people misunderstand the meaning of the term quality. Quality as a definition itself is highly misunderstood. In fact, you'll be surprised to know that when I talk to very senior and seasoned and matured project professionals and even quality professionals, and when I ask them, hey, what is the meaning of the term quality as per you? I get to hear so many versions that it's actually scary. Quality has only one meaning, and that is conformity to requirements plus fitness of use. Yes, that's exactly what it means. The definition of quality is conformity to requirements plus fitness of use. There is no other definition of quality. And if there is any other definition that you find it to be correct, you will eventually see that that definition actually basically is saying the same definition in different words or in different manner. Eventually, every correct definition of quality would mean to say conformity to requirements plus fitness of use. The definition that I am talking about is taken from TQM, Total Quality Management, the original institute for quality in Japan, of course. And therefore, let's talk about it. Conformity to requirements basically means that whatever that is there in the requirements, whatever that has been documented as requirement must be met. So you have a requirements documentation. Well, it's been approved, so whatever that is mentioned in the requirements document must be met. And if you miss out even the smallest iota of things which is mentioned in the requirements document and it's not there in the finished product or service, I'm sorry, you are missing out on one of the biggest elements of quality, and that is conformity to requirements. On the other hand, just in case you met all the requirements does not necessarily mean that you've achieved quality. They also should be fit to use. And therefore, quality is not only conforming to requirements, but also fitness of use. So why am I talking about the definition of quality when we are talking about defects and bugs or defects and errors? Well, did you notice that the definition of quality consists of two specific components? One is conformity to requirements and the other is fitness of use. Can you put the two and two together? Yes, bingo. That's exactly what it is. Non-conformity to requirements gives you defects. No matter how simple it is. No matter who finds it. A lot of people have this confusion that defects cannot be fixed or it is something that has been found by the customer, and when it comes to IT guys, it becomes even more, how do I say, confusing. People even use the word when there is a showstopper, or something like when you find a production something and you can't solve it. That's all absolutely hogwash. I'm sorry to use a little bit of French here, because I really want you guys to understand that defect has nothing to do with whatever that you just said. Defects are anything which the customer expects, and his expectations are already listed down in the form of requirements in the requirements documentation. And if that is not met, you are actually making a defective product. The customer is not going to accept it. That is the meaning of the term defect. Let's take an example. You wanted a car. You wanted a white car, ivory white car, right? Of a specific make with certain configuration and certain kind of fitments, and you ordered it. You got it, except everything is there, except the color is blue. Will you accept it? Simple? You will not. Is there anything technically wrong? Of course not. It's just a color. But see, it is defective for you because you specifically wrote down what your requirements are and they were not complied to. The moment you don't conform to any kind of requirements, no matter how small it is, it's a defect. Simple as that. But just in case your car that you got, it's absolutely ivory cream or ivory white, whatever that color is, it's exactly what you wanted and you got it and you're driving around. And one fine day you find, because of this unseasonal rains that are happening, some of the water actually seeps into the headlight of the car. And actually, because of the heat of the lamp, it actually, what I call, fogs the lamp. You know, it becomes kind of opaque. I'm sure some of you have seen that. What is that? Nobody writes in the requirements that, hey, you know what, our headlights will not allow water to come in and, fog the lamp. Of course, nobody kind of, writes it, but then people expect it because that's not, meeting the exact quality. You're finding it difficult to use. It kind of looks ugly. You're not getting the same intensity of the luminous of the headlights as you wanted. And therefore, this time you are not going to reject it. You're simply going to ask them to fix it. Now, there's a huge difference, because that is not a non-conformity to requirements, it's a non-fitness of use. So when you have a non-fitness of use, it's not a defect. It is a bug. In IT or in any other industry, it's called an error. Remember, non-conformity to requirements is a defect, irrespective of which domain or industry you are in. It's applicable universally. However, in case your product is not fit to use, all the requirements have been met, and they're not fit to use, or some of them are not fit to use, then you've got instances of bugs if you're in IT, or instances of error in every other industry. Understanding it this way gets you closer to the understanding of what the customer really wants. You really understand the expectation of the customer. If you have a difference of opinion or a difference of definitions between what the customer expected to be versus what you think it is, everybody would be working very hard and delivering bad results. And that's what happens in most of the projects. So this is the importance of knowing the right terminology, because your productivity, your expectation settings, everything relies on that. Now just imagine, some of the top quality professionals don't understand this well. And what do they bring to the table? Even with the best of intentions, a lot of problems. So understand the difference between defects and bugs, and when you apply it in real projects, you will find that when everybody speaks the same language, the productivity, the results that you produce, and the customer expectation settings that you end up achieving is fantastic. This is Maneesh Vijaya from PM Pulse, bringing to you yet another episode of PM Ninja videos. I hope you liked it, and well, go ahead and subscribe so that you don't miss out on any of these power-packed videos. This is Maneesh Vijaya signing off. Thank you for watching.